Hey guys, thanks once again for tuning in to Be Good Fruit. It's a podcast. We are here to give you our opinions, to tell you what's worked for us and practical applications of how do we put this Word of God into our daily lives and make it work. And that's what it is, us giving you our opinion. In the end, you have to look it up. You have to do the research. It's your relationship with Christ, not ours. So do the work, get to know Jesus, and do your best to dig into the Word. Without further ado, Be Good Fruit. Hello, and welcome once again to Be Good Fruit. I'm Brian.
I'm David.
I know you're David. I'm Brian.
Oh, well, they didn't know that.
Well, come on, man. It's episode 27.
It's episode 27.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. We had to. Hey, real quick, we did basically every other week last year. We did 26 episodes in 52 weeks.
Hey.
And, for two guys with full-time jobs and, I had a full-time family, but they all left the nest.
Oh, yeah. Empty nester now.
Yep. Darn.
How's that feel?
Kind of cool. My wife's taking over the upstairs. She's going to make it her, she's got that punching bag up there, and she's going to...
Her she shack?
I don't know about that. She loft?
Right.
She's gonna do all that. We haven't handed out the gold stars in a while. I know we're supposed to. We say we will.
Right.
But there's a lot of people on Substack that are listening.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of impressed. They're leading the charge over everybody else.
Yeah.
And there was one of them had like 61 downloads. I said, holy cow, wow, Substack, way to go. So I was excited. So if people at Substack would comment, you could have the gold star membership.
There you go.
Just like Mike, just like Laura, just like Hugo. They're gold star members.
Right. And Billy Joe Bob.
Billy Joe Bob, he's more of a silver star.
Yeah, because he only comes every once in a while.
He always, you help me move. Anyway, today... Back on track. Episode 27, Eating Well.
Yeah. Yum.
Now, that doesn't mean we eat a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah. So let's define it. Eating well, healthy.
Yeah.
So healthy is comparative adjective indicating non-disease, be in good health, beneficial to physical, mental, emotional state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good. All that.
Yes, I concur. Here's the other dictionary for diet. The foods a person habitually eats, a restriction of foods to aid in weight loss, or for medical reasons. It's funny. Diet, 3/4 of diet is die. You hear that joke.
Right.
There's a lot of people that see food as energy and fuel and my grandfather, he passed in April. I've talked about him often. He just saw it as a necessary thing. He said, if I didn't have to eat, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Whereas here I am, having a ton of Swiss cake rolls and oatmeal cream pies and cookies. And Grandpa, we're the same.
Right.
He was smaller than he was when he was in World War II. Yeah, it was amazing. But he just got real thin, stayed thin. But some see it as a way to gain muscle and improve. Like athletically, they'll try to do that. That's how they see eating well. Other people see eating well as a way to control their weight. Mm-hmm. Some people see eating well as, like Jewish people still have all of the ways that they eat because of the way what Leviticus and all that says. Hey, don't eat this, kosher, those kind of rules. Other cultures, they don't eat certain things. And, there's some people, and I know some that legitimately have this, the gluten-free stuff, where they can't.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I'm gluten-free. And no, they have to be, or else they're in the hospital, that kind of stuff. James 3:3, because James, he's talking about where there's bits in the mouth of a horse, and how that bit can steer the horse around. Well, food can be that for people.
Yeah.
If you don't watch out, those oatmeal cream pies can lead us down a dangerous road if we don't watch out. We will get that addiction. And eating well isn't so much a dietary regulation of you have to eat this many grains and this many proteins and this many. For me, I don't know about you, eating well is not eating till you're full.
Okay.
I've been really trying to do that the last week. I know it's the new year.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad, David. I eat so much. I'm up 20 pounds. I ain't going to lie. But we definitely, if we don't eat till we're full, then by doing that, we're not overstuffing ourselves, I guess. That's the way I see it, because I'll just eat until I can't eat anymore on certain things. Like Swiss cake rolls and, oatmeal cream pies. I'll eat the whole box.
Yeah.
I have a problem.
Right.
My name is Brian, and I have a problem.
I don't want help. I just want more oatmeal cream pies.
Do you want help? Yes, another box. Go get one.
Can you hand that to me, please? Thank you.
What do you think eating well is? What do you think?
Pretty much all that you said. Not overeating, eating things that are beneficial for you. One of the big problems today here in our country of the U.S. of A., there's way too much stuff put in our food.
Oh, amen. Yeah.
Too many chemicals and, antibiotics and all kind of, preservatives and all that. So
different colors, and
dyes and all of that. And it's to the point to where we're not really eating food, like real food.
No.
And we're eating a bunch of junk, and most of the health issues are usually food related,
They were talking about how I listened to a lot of different people talk on this subject. Huberman, Bobby Kennedy, quite a few people will talk about this subject. One of the things they say is that chronic health disease basically wasn't a thing in the 50s.
No.
And it is now because of the diet.
Because of the diet, because of what they... And then another thing that I learned, like, I'm not going to say their names, but a certain large fast food chain that is probably the biggest in this country.
I understand.
What they put in their food, like when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, the food, they didn't pump it with so much stuff. And then what they're doing now is way worse than, how it used to be. So fast food was never really very healthy for you.
No.
But it's much worse now.
There's a lot of preservatives. There's a lot of sugar.
A lot of sugar. Yeah.
They put sugar in everything.
Sugar, yeah.
But honestly, there's a really big movement lately where people are trying to, I don't know if get back to nature is the right way to put it, but grow their own gardens and have their own real food. And when they have their own gardens, I had a bunch of tomatoes last year that I grew. I'm going to do it again. And when you have that, it doesn't have some weird chemical on it or it doesn't have something else. I'm not a psychopath where I'm thinking everybody's out to get me in tinfoil hats and aliens and, well.
Yes, you are.
Maybe. But
no.
But I don't think that everything in the grocery department is horrible, but I have heard some people say, why is the health food section this one little section?
Right.
What does that say about the rest of it?
Right.
And then you hear a lot of people say, health experts, when you go to a grocery store, shop the perimeter. Don't go down the aisles.
Don't go down.
Because what's down the aisles? Sugar.
Sugar and junk.
Like, honestly, one of the easiest things to make is pasta sauce for your spaghetti sauce. Mm-hmm. Making that yourself is so easy and so much healthier. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things you can do. My wife will make her own sauce for her lasagna. Did you ever have her lasagna?
I don't think I have.
Oh my goodness. We call it life-changing lasagna.
Wow.
The sauce is a bunch of tomatoes, tomato paste, sweet potatoes, and a bunch of other vegetables that she'll put in there and puree.
Okay.
And then that's part of the sauce. Eating well is less sugar to me, less processed.
Less processed, yeah.
So if it came in a box and you put it in a skillet and warmed it up, no.
Yeah.
Even peanut butter, you look at that. Is it really peanut butter? There was a big debate a long time ago when one brand of peanut butter came out, and they said, that's not peanut butter. It has like 20% peanuts in it. It's all sugar.
Right.
No, it's peanut butter adjacent.
Right. I heard that Kraft cheese, they can't call it like the singles, Kraft singles. Mm-hmm. They can't call it Kraft cheese because it's not enough actual cheese.
There's no milk in it.
So they have to call it Kraft singles because by law they can't call it cheese.
So food is really important. Mm-hmm. Obviously, everybody everywhere eats it every day. At least I hope you do, guys.
Right.
I mean, you're like the only time you shouldn't eat is if you did it on purpose on a fast.
Right.
But if you aren't eating, I'm so sorry. Genesis 1:29 starts back in the beginning.
Right.
Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. Mm-hmm. And here in 30, and to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has breath of life in it. And he says, I give every green plant for food. Mm. He is giving us all of the food to eat. He's saying, all of this is good. Mm. Have at it. Mm. But then I've done a lot of research on this, not just for this podcast, but where a lot of these food laws came where the Jews would say, hey, let's not eat pork. Let's not eat this. It's unclean. It's unclean. Yes, it was given by God, but also people are getting sick. Mm-hmm. They didn't cook everything all the way through. And then there's a lot of ways to get around that by deeming it unclean. Mm. And that way you have a healthier lifestyle. Mm. What do you think about that?
I think that those dietary laws were given by God because some things are unclean. Like, okay, we know that shellfish and, lobster and shrimp and crawfish and stuff like that, they're bottom feeders. Mm-hmm. So they're like the roaches of the sea.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, they are. If you look at them, they're pretty much that. And so you shouldn't eat that. You know what I mean? Because it's nasty. Like when I saw what they feed pigs, they feed them trash. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I was like,
they'll eat anything.
They'll eat anything.
No, I've seen them eat anything.
They'll put this stuff in the machine. I don't even want to call it food, but it like cardboard and all trash, old expired meat that's going bad and all that. They'll just ground it all up,
nasty,
and just feed it to the pigs. And don't get me started. But
it sounds like we did.
These laws were given, so they're to put it in perspective, they're in the wilderness, right? They're about to go to the promised land, and he says, okay, you should not do this, you should not do that, right? Mm-hmm. These laws were given to these people so that they can be free, they can be healthy, they can be, happy in this new land, in this, in their new home. And if you don't have your health, you know what I mean? You can have all the money in the world. Yeah. So I think that they were given out of love.
Sure.
And to keep you happy and, healthy.
And I think also, like I was saying, it kind of proves, hey, that's why God gave it to us, is if you don't cook that all the way through, you'll get sickness, you'll get worms, you'll get whatever, you'll get
you can cook it all the way through and still get parasites.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. A buddy of mine, I don't eat pork, and we have this discussion, and he went to the doctor and he's got parasites, and he's like, how in the world did I get parasites? I'm like, dude, you eat anything creeping and crawling, you know? Man. And he's like, well, I cook. He's a chef, you know? He's like, I cook everything right. I'm like, yeah, that still doesn't mean that it's unclean, dude. And a lot of, like I said earlier, the health issues that we have, especially in the African American community, you know, a lot of tradition of the things that we eat culture wise, fried. Well, it's not just that. It goes back to slavery. You know, we weren't giving we was, you know, high off the hog. You know, they gave all the undesirable parts of the hog.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right. So they turned around and, you know, cooked it and made it taste good.
Heck yeah.
but it's not good for you.
Well, it's like gumbo. I mean, gumbo is just throw everything together.
Right.
Yeah,
but it was a survival, you know, tactic. But that stuff wasn't meant to be eaten like that. And so it's, you know, I've had this conversation with people because they mess with me about, you know, well, I don't eat this or I don't eat that.
Right.
And I go to the doctor, you know, often, and I get checked out, and I'm an African American man. I have no high blood pressure, no high cholesterol, no diabetes, not pre-diabetic or anything like that. And it's just because I simply don't eat, you know. Right. Now, my problem was...
You take it serious.
I take it serious, but my problem was I did eat a lot of fast food. I did eat a lot of chicken.
Yeah.
And I'm cutting that out. My problem was the sugar and too much meat. I think too much meat, period, is not good. And the Bible does say that as well. But yeah, that I can't eat meat and then stay under 200 pounds. I just can't. Like, I have to go vegetarian in order to do that. I just can't. I've tried it. I just can't.
No, yeah. I think when I'll be able to get under 200 pounds, like 6 weeks after I die, go ahead and dig me back up. And I should be about 190.
That's horrible. That's a horrible thing to say.
I'm never going to be under 200. Like he's been dead for 5 years and he's still 180 pounds. All right. So where is all this stuff? It's in Leviticus 11, pretty much the whole chapter.
Yeah.
And it's saying, the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, and so God's saying quite a bit here, and it goes on forever. It won't beat you down, dear listener. You may eat any animal that has a divided hoof and that chews the cud, and then it goes on and on. But you must not eat these animals. You can eat that. This is what is unclean. This is what God considers all these things. So that's where it's found, and you can go through and read all of that. It's Leviticus 11. It's pretty much the entire chapter 11. You know, of all the animals that walk on all fours, those that walk on their paws are unclean for you. And it's really good advice for, especially people back then who, hey, let's kill it and eat it. No. God said no because it's going to kill you. There's a lot of that. We have to be eating well for our health and our diet, but to overcome what the world's given us with all this sugar. So many people are starting to do, like I said, the gardens and eating well. And my wife's starting to make, you got to come over for this one. She's starting to make her own pasta. She's got a pasta maker. And we had some, I think, linguine the other night. And she's like, oh, I didn't make it right. It's not 100%. I'm going to have to really learn. I'm like, oh, darn. Keep learning. You know, it's so good. Fresh pasta. And what's in it? Real flour, eggs, some water and salt. That's it. There's your pasta. But you look at the box of what pasta is, and it's, I can't pronounce that.
Red dye number 8.
Polysorbate 80.
Motricurpirapirapirine.
God bless you, sir.
Right.
We have to have discipline.
Yeah.
And that's what eating well is a lot of, is discipline. Because anybody can have those sweets all the time. Anybody can say, hey, look, Popeye's chicken. Must be a sign from God.
Right.
Hey, give me a 5-piece.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ice cream. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Half gallon at a shot. I can eat it all. All.
Right.
Like the real deal Blue Bell. Blue Bell, you can sponsor us too, by the way. Son, I could eat so much. I'm bad. But there needs to be discipline for our bodies so that we can control it. If we don't have discipline in our minds and in our bodies, that doesn't honor God.
Right.
How we honor God is being disciplined. How we honor God is living the life He would have us live. The Old Testament is no longer, what do people say? We don't have to listen to the Old Testament anymore. It's the New Testament. Well, no, man, it's not what it says. Where does it say that in the Bible?
Right. What was Jesus preaching?
Yeah, it's in Second Hesitations right here where it says.
What were they teaching? Because the New Testament wasn't written.
Yeah. And then one of the things I saw was in the Bible was Cornelius. It's in Acts 10. Cornelius sends for Peter in Joppa.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter's on top of the roof and he's praying to God. And he was very hungry. There was a vision that came to him, and it was like I'm kind of paraphrasing all this, but it was like a big picnic cloth.
Mm-hmm.
And
big spread.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's pizza and
Papa John's.
Yes. Yes. A little Chinese takeout. Maybe not. But it was lowered with all the animals on it, and a voice said, "Get up, Peter. Go kill and eat." And Peter says, "Surely not," because he would obey the laws of God.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of food laws. And God said, do not call anything impure that God has made clean. And that happened 3 times, which is always a really big deal when it's 3 times. Mm-hmm. Like the devil tempted Jesus 3 times. And it's a really, Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Mm-hmm. Cornelius made it there, and they went back to Cornelius's house, and then Peter, went back and told everybody what he saw. And yes, it is somewhat about the food, but it was more about the combining of Gentiles and Jews under Christ.
Yeah, I think that's what that was about.
And
should the Gentiles get the gospel? Right.
Sure, but I think a lot of it was also don't discriminate against other people. Mm-hmm. Everybody's welcome under this big blanket, of Jesus. But I do think also it was saying those laws aren't there to restrict you as much as for you to follow for your health. A lot of people saw it as, I have to follow these 613 laws. And that was very Pharisaical. These 613 laws are what we got to do. And if I don't follow those, and while I'm washing my hands, I got to say this prayer. And then if I don't say it right, I got to do this. And then I got to go. No, man, it's grace. Those still apply. Those are still real, but it's grace. And that's really important. When it comes to the eating healthy, did you have some scripture for that?
I was going to let you go ahead.
I'm sorry, man. Let me see here. Oh, I know. I was looking at my notes.
Okay.
Sorry, dear reader or listener. Eating healthy. Now, we're not dietitians and health experts.
Right.
But we have lived a few years and we know what mostly is healthy. Would you agree less sugar?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If you can keep it down like 30 grams.
Oh man, you know the grams?
They say if you can keep it lower than 30 grams, I think you're kind of in the safe zone.
So like 4 drops of a Coke.
Right, basically. 30 grams, yeah. So your body, produces the insulin to be able to, yeah.
It's such a big deal.
Yeah.
The whole methylation, if you guys really want to get lost down a rabbit hole, go look up methylation. It's crazy. Less salt. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Hardly any processed food, if not none.
Yeah, if you can, like,
It's hard.
It's hard
because when you don't have money, it's like ramen and pancakes and hamburger helper, and I get it.
Yeah, it's hard. It tastes good. They focus on the taste, not the health benefits.
No,
they've mastered making something taste well.
I mean, that's why pizzas are like $5 at different places, because it's not good for you. It's
right.
It's empty. It's empty calories.
Empty calories, yeah.
Here's my opinion, since it's a little different than yours.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to have more grass-fed beef.
Mm.
I think less corn-fed beef, more true grass-fed beef.
Yeah.
That's me and my opinion only.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't represent anyone else.
All right.
More wild-caught salmon.
Mm.
I love salmon.
Yeah.
And the wild-caught salmon versus the farm-raised.
Yeah.
The omega-3s and all that, they're so different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. The environment really makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
We have to fast on occasion.
Yeah.
And you've spoken about that a lot. I have never done a real deal fast. The most I've done is like 30 hours. I haven't done a serious fast.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But it's something I'm probably going to start doing
this year.
Yeah, for a fact. I don't know when exactly this month, but this month.
Yeah. I say this. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please do.
I say this. Fasting, if you look throughout the Bible, is encouraged. I've been told that it gets God's attention.
True.
To be able to deny yourself food, when you talk about that discipline thing, that's one of the hardest things for a human being to do, is to deny himself food.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of benefits. Like I fasted. I didn't eat till yesterday. I fasted 2 days, and that first day, it's always for me. Like the first day is, I don't feel so good.
Tired.
Like, yeah, well, after the 24 hours, my body's like, hey, what's up, man? You're not going to feed us? And then after that, it's like, oh, you're not going to feed us? Well, how about this headache?
Yeah, you like that?
Right, how you like that? But if you can get through that headache, then you'll feel better than you ever feel. And it's weird because you think that you'll be weak, but you'll probably actually feel better. So there's a lot of health benefits to fasting, not just for spiritual reasons, but also it also helps with your immune system. Your body can fight off disease. You won't get sick as much by fasting. I try to fast at least try to fast at least a few times a month. I do that, and it's good. But go ahead now.
No, it's good. Matthew 4:4, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. And that's what you're talking about, is when you're fasting, you're relying on God. You do, and what I want to do is go to God with prayer and fasting, not just fasting for fasting's sake.
Right.
I want to have not a problem, but I want to have something that I'm taking to Him. Let me say it that way. And that way I have a reason, if you will. For a lot of people, they'll say, well, what should I eat? What should I not eat? A lot of people do elimination diets where they just won't eat any vegetables, let's say, for a week, or any fruit for a week, or any beef, or any chicken, or any elimination like that. Then you could say, okay, well, especially if you get migraines. For me, it was high blood pressure, but for a friend of mine, it was chocolate, and he's very sad.
Right.
But every now and then he's like, no, I need some chocolate. I don't care what happens. And then he'll just be sick as a dog the next day, but he had chocolate. It's like once a year around Halloween, he'll have some, but he gets migraines. But that elimination diet is a way to eat healthy where you could figure out, what if by not eating this, I feel better?
Right.
like you said, you don't eat certain things and you feel better.
Yeah.
And that's a way to go. Having a great, healthy habit is very much wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
In James 3:13, who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show it by his good life, his deeds done in the humility that comes from wisdom. Well, the wise and understanding is the Bible.
Right.
The only way we can be wise is to read our Bible and get to know God, and knowing Scripture and being able to work that out in our daily lives. The fasting part, eating wise part, eating well part, and having that wisdom is going to help others see that in us. I think having a healthy diet is probably like a third of the piece you need, really. We need to be humble. We need to be obedient to God.
Right.
Our obedience is grown in faithful discipline. As we become more and more disciplined in what we eat, what we say, and what we watch, we grow in God's will. And eating is part of that. Eating well, because we want to live a long time. We want to be here for our kids, our family, our friends, those we serve.
Mm-hmm.
If we eat poorly and we're always sick, you know, I remember kids when I was a little kid. I was like, well, they're always sick, and they were dirt poor, but they ate like crap. They ate just the worst food. I mean, they had to, but they were also sick, and I really believe that their diet influenced their health.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could see that as a kid.
Science proves that. Yeah. Me personally, I try to follow the dietary laws. I do that, and I also keep the biblical Sabbath as well.
Mm-hmm.
And let me explain why. The reason why I do that is not because I'm Pharisee, I'm not trying to work or earn or gain, grace or favor from God. It's not about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you the whole reason is this simple. As a follower of Christ, what did he do? Did he do this? No, he didn't do this. Did he do that? Yeah, he did that. As a follower of Christ, I think the main objective is to become more like him. Less of you, more him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I do the things that I do. For that reason only. No, you cannot work your way into salvation. You cannot gain. No, it's all by grace.
Mm-hmm.
But I do that, and his disciples did that as well. So when Paul says, when he writes to the Romans about eating and things like that, what's clean and unclean, but did he eat unclean? No.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of Jesus' disciples eat what? So I do that just because trying to be more like him. That's it. Not trying to work my way, not trying to parade it in front of anybody,
right.
Not trying to make somebody else feel better and then that's Romans 14, verse 2. One believes in eating everything, but the weak person eats only vegetables. The one who eats everything must not despise the one who does not, and the one who abstains must not judge the one who eats everything, for God has accepted him.
It's true.
So, just how we have these differences of, you'll eat this and okay, story time.
Uh-oh.
I came to Brian's house one day and he ate a whole plate of bacon.
Yes.
Just the whole plate of it.
I offered and David said no.
I just looked at him shaking my head and he ate it up. And that, I tease him, right? But
I love bacon.
He loves. He sends me memes of bacon stuff. And I'll be like, yuck. And he'll be like, oh, man, you hate life. What's wrong with you?
Why do you hate life? Why are you so angry?
Why do you choose to be so miserable? Because you don't eat these things. And, yeah, so it's not about judgment. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not about that. Because who am I to judge anybody or tell you, you know, only thing I can have control of is myself, you know, and it's a struggle just to do that. You know what I mean? You got enough work on your hands on that situation.
Yeah,
so
I drive that struggle bus.
Right.
It's bad.
So, you know, there's a lot of controversy about these things. They were, you know, thousands of years ago. It's in the books. You know what I mean? But I just believe that we are to love each other. We are to handle each other with grace. And I don't encourage people to do, but
Yeah.
it's up to you, you know, just as the scriptures say.
Because there's a lot of people that get almost militant about being vegan or those that like, I eat the lion diet. All I eat is meat and all I did. Well, good for you. Mm-hmm. You know, some of these people that do these diets, they're like marathon runners.
Yeah.
They only do it so they could tell everybody they do it.
Right.
Like if you couldn't run a marathon, you'd never do it because if you couldn't tell anybody about it, you would never run a marathon. Like they have to have stickers and talk about it. And then the people, well, I'm vegan. I can tell. How do you know? Because you won't shut up. and
why do people hate vegans?
But I was getting ready to say, on the other side are the people that, well, I do the lion diet and all I do is carnivore. That's the other one. Carnivore diet. No. Like, I know. How do you know? You won't shut up.
Right.
Like, why do you profess this?
Right.
I don't care. I think a lot of eating well is small steps.
Yeah.
Bite-sized steps. See what I did there?
Yeah. I saw the pun. Yeah.
But seriously, though, eating well and eating healthy, it can be part of our daily lives. And with it being the new year, what better time? You know, everybody's making a new effort, new commitment, if you will, to I'm going to go to the gym every day. It's the 3rd. I doubt you will. You probably gave up already, but good on you if you do, right?
Right.
But I've worked out maybe 4 times in my life. I don't go to workout gyms. I don't do that.
And for the record, he's a pretty strong dude. I've had to move a lot of stuff with him and lift a lot of things with him. He's a pretty strong guy.
Brian, get that piano, okay?
Yeah, we used to move pianos, people.
But no, it's just old farm work from way back when, and you just put on the muscle. But eating healthy is a component. Like I said earlier, it's only a 3rd of it. Another 3rd is the mental aspect of being humble with God and living right that way, and the discipline, and then exercise.
Yeah.
You can eat perfect, but if you never get off the couch, you're not going to get the full benefit. You're better for it, but you won't get the full benefit.
And then here's the flip side of that. You can do all the exercise in the world, but if you don't have discipline when it comes to that diet, everything you do is for nothing. Because it's like 70% of it is about what you eat.
Oh, man, it could be more. Yeah. I've seen a lot of different studies about this where they're talking about how, and it's different for every person, right? Your genetics, my genetics, and how we're raised, and what we used to eat back in the day. You know, if you were always raised a certain way, that'll be a good difference as well. But I do know one thing. I've been as heavy as 315. And I've been as low as 238. I felt a lot better at 238.
I bet you did.
And when that wasn't even a year ago. And so the holidays are hard, man. Christmas and Thanksgiving and like, look, it's fudge. Well, I don't want to be, I don't want to make you mad. I'll eat your fudge.
Right.
I made shortbread cookies. I like shortbread cookies. But eating healthy, eating well is very key. And it is kind of timely with the beginning of the new year. But how we do that daily is how we honor God.
Yeah.
And we're not a glutton. We're not sitting there stuffing our faces, being very selfish in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to add?
Yeah, keep in mind, the body is the temple.
There you go.
You know, and it's where the Ruach HaKodesh.
You okay?
The Holy Spirit dwells in the temple.
Doggone it. That's a big word.
Yeah. But keep in mind what you put in your body.
Very much.
Not just what you eat, what you watch, what you're listening to, you know, all of that goes. So if you're putting bad stuff in your body,
mm-hmm.
you're gonna feel bad. You're gonna probably, you know, it affects food doesn't just affect your health, it affects your mood.
True.
How you feel emotionally, you know, your how you're thinking, how well you're, you know, operating and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So be mindful of that. You know, the body, I always think about this. If we were, when he created Adam and Eve, right? Man was not supposed to die. You know, we were supposed to live forever, but because of the fall, right? Death, sin.
Wages of sin is death.
Right. So sin into the world, death entered the world. If nothing had to die, we didn't have to eat dead animals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We were made to not eat that. You know what I mean? So you can survive and be healthy not eating that. Now, you can be healthy while eating animals. You know what I mean? So just keep in mind that you don't have to eat the food pyramid. I feel like that's just a scheme. Yeah.
No.
Dairy and you got to eat this much, and that was just a marketing thing. You don't have to eat animals every day. You don't have to eat, you know, things that are bad for you often. Now, I haven't been eating meat. I think that eventually at some point in this year, I will reintroduce meat back into my diet. But I'm convinced that I don't need to eat that every day. Where a meal wasn't a meal unless you had some meat. You know what I mean? And the only reason why is because I'm looking at how does it affect me.
Right.
You see what I mean? Some people can do a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm just not one of those people.
The skinny people that eat junk all day and they stay skinny. And
my father.
What is wrong with these people?
My father can eat Popeyes, Chinese food, KFC, and all kind of stuff, and then still be pretty much healthy. You know, he's not a big guy, but he can eat like that, and because he has that high metabolism,
right?
But you know, and he can do that and then just be fine. Where I got to work out, you know, 3 or 4 times a week just to stay fat.
You didn't get them genes, is what you're saying.
Well, I know, because I think I took my mother. She had gained weight when she was, you know, in her 30s. So I think I might have got that probably from her. But it's so some people can do certain things and some, but you know, be mindful about what you need to do, what works for you. You know what I mean?
Totally agree. And 2 things I'll add. You did not get unhealthy in a day.
No.
You will not get healthy in a day.
No.
And there's no such thing. I don't care what people say about these certain pills that I won't mention.
Or injections.
You cannot rely on that.
No.
It may help for some people who are, and that's a doctor to decide, not me. But if you go thinking I'm going to take these certain pills and I'll be good, all I got to do is take this pill. It says it right here. If I take 3 a day, I'm going to be, no.
Yeah.
You didn't get big overnight. You won't get skinny overnight. It takes time. Eating healthy is more than weight loss. It's add in vitamins, add in, supplements that you need to get with your doctor about it. But so many people are just looking to lose weight and they're doing it the wrong way and it's not healthy.
Right.
And it works great for 2 weeks and then you fall off the wagon for a day and it all comes back.
Right.
A slow, steady approach, just like investing.
Right.
You know, I bought this one thing and I'm going to be a millionaire. Ooh, it tanked.
Right.
You invest properly, slow and steady. It wins the race. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
You are what you eat.
Right.
You know, got to watch out. That's a saying that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. We went a little long, but it's a very important subject, and I'm very glad that you guys joined us today. Substack, we love you. Make some comments. We'd love to hear more. This is where you get to be a Gold Star member.
Right.
Is now. You're at the end of the podcast. You're still with us.
Mm-hmm.
You're a winner.
Right.
Winner.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
Yeah, we got to give it up. Yeah, that's right.
That's the winner horn.
That's right.
You made the finish line. Lame. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you later. I'm Brian.
I'm David.
Bye-bye.
Peace.